What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonia Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How was your life?
Going. Hey, you need to slow your ass down.
I'm pumped.
You already started
I'm pumped.
freaking coming out the gate hot.
Thanks.
What is going on?
I do look hot. No, I'm just stepping out of the gym all sweaty.
You smell something?
Whatever it is, it smells good. Hurry up with your advertisement.
Make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys go there, make sure you follow our podcast, Opposite Pod, on everything. You can search us by just searching Opposites Attract Podcast on whatever social media you're on and follow us there. The best thing that you can do is
like and subscribe.
Yeah, share a clip with somebody. Follow our new clips channel on YouTube, Opposites Attract Podcast Clips, and we'll get into more of that stuff a little bit later.
All that good stuff. Dude, I was on the struggle bus today.
You just got back from the gym.
Yeah, but I was not feeling it. And I think I know it's more difficult when I know you are home because I want to be here with you. And normally I go to the gym between 5:15 to 6:15, right?
Yeah.
Because when I
go to work,
then I'm like, okay, let's go. Before I would even leave before you went to work. But this, lately it's just been like, I want to snuggle with you and get that time in. Anyways, today it was difficult to get in because I just wanted to stay in bed. Like I've been super cold and then been doing the cold plunging and and it was such a mental game. Such a mental game. I even told you, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go upstairs and get ready for the gym. If I don't come down in 15 minutes, if I don't come down in 15 minutes, come get me.
Yeah. I'm making a mess over here, yo.
Oh, I'm like, do I have a booger or something? They can't see that. It's okay.
Pass me something. Over here making a mess.
But no, I felt it. I was aware of what was happening. And I did go up there and I did lay in the bed. And
did you?
I'm telling you, I was struggling. And then I'm like, no, you can't do this. You have to mentally prepare yourself. You have a new client coming in at 1:00.
Yep.
You can't do this. There's a lot on your plate. There's a lot going on. I have so much scheduled. Tomorrow we're going into a group home of 28 girls, speaking to them.
This smells like ass.
What?
And then we're going to drink it.
My ass smells like that? Let me smell it. Because if that's what you say, no.
It smells like fucking feet. It's a bottle full of feet. Sorry, dude.
But I had to fight through that this morning. So I get up and I'm talking to myself. I'm like, get your ass up. This is not okay. Get your ass up. So there I am. I'm like, all right, let's do this. Let's go. And I'm like, I don't have that much time at the gym. I haven't told you.
Yeah, you were thinking about not even going.
Right. But I'm like, nope.
I'm glad you went.
I'm like, get in there. Even if you go for 30, 40 minutes, which is not a long time for me, because I like to be there for at least an hour and a half. But I'm like, no, get in there. And I had such an amazing workout. I kicked my ass for 20 minutes working on legs. I even had some guy come up to me and he's like, that looks painful. And I'm like,
I ain't got no time to talk. Get the hell out of here.
It's a bit uncomfortable, but not painful. And he looks at me and he's like, no, it's painful. I'm like, you would say that. This is so messed up. Not being messed up, but it's true. I'm like, you would say that because you're a dude. Because most guys do not like working on their legs. I said, I feel like that when I'm working out on my arms, oh my God, this is so painful, but I knocked it out.
Do you think it has anything to do with what each of us perceives that the other looks at?
No, because dudes look at tits and ass.
Yeah, but tits you can get. I mean, I guess you can get an ass today too. But
oh yeah.
But what I'm saying is, girls know guys are looking at their ass. So I don't know, maybe for you, your arms is painful. I don't know. But for a dude, we think girls are looking at our arms. You know what I mean? So it's I'll do this.
No, that's not true.
I don't know.
Because
I'm just saying it's a misconception. Because you're right. We
Yeah.
do look at titties too.
Yeah. I don't know. Not for everybody. I know not for me, but
Anyway.
yeah, I don't know. Either way, I got my workout on and I was pumped, and I switched some things around because normally, because I was feeling so tired, I didn't want to go in meditating and stretching, like doing yoga, because that puts me in a very mellow state. And
you need to pick up the energy.
And I needed to pick that up. So I just went into the sauna. I did some stretching in there, and then I got out and kicked my ass on legs, and it felt so good. Like I felt so powerful. And then after that, because I was breathing so hard, like I had a very intense, quick workout. Yeah. Then I meditated and I did my yoga, and I liked that better. So I think I'm going to switch it up because it gets me into that calm, space, that calm state. And that's what I need when I'm working with my clients, right? Yeah. Like that's the space I need to be in, not like, let's kick some ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to switch it up. I think I'm going to do my workout first, and then after that, do my meditation, do my yoga, do my stretching.
See how that goes.
Yeah, and that just happened today, very spontaneous.
That's cool.
Just switching things up. And that's the thing. A lot of times, I noticed I park in the same aisle every day when I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Habits, right? Habits.
Is that bad?
Well, you want to switch some things up. You don't want to continue.
But I don't want to be wasting time looking for my fucking car in the parking lot.
No, but there's a lot of parking spaces when I go because it's early. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I do the same thing. I think most people probably do the same thing.
Right. But they talk about that shifting your paradigm, right? They talk about that.
Yeah, I think in some cases, yeah, like what you're saying right now, like switching up the meditation and the workout, and like that's a great idea.
Yeah.
For some things, just like a robot.
Like I told you, remember
we
used to joke about this? If I ever wanted to murder you, I would know how.
You're like, he's going to be, you're looking at your watch and 5, 4, there he goes.
The way you put on your socks, everything. I am so everywhere that you wouldn't even be able to find me.
I'm like, dude, she was supposed to be here.
Yeah, like she comes to the gym at this time. Oh shit, she's not here yet. Like, yeah, no, because I'm just like, that's the way it depends on my schedule, right? But either way, I don't do the same thing like every day.
Yeah.
Right? Like the way I brush, I have 2 different toothbrushes I use.
Yeah.
I use the electric toothbrush,
one
or
for
I
your
use
ass and one for your mouth. Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways.
Oh God.
But it was very, very cool. And yesterday, sorry, I'm very talkative.
Jesus Christ. You need to go meditate.
Did you want to say something? But I did.
That reminds me of this guy Jocko that I listened to, and he was talking about working out recently, and somebody had sent him a question similar to like what you had going on today. Like he is also a very busy person that travels the country speaking and visiting clients and all kinds of stuff. And when you're traveling, like I experience this sometimes, like your schedule just gets all jacked. And we're creatures of habit, of routine. We have this thing that we do every morning. We wake up, go to the gym. But when you're traveling or when you have to leave on a flight, it's like, okay, my flight leave, I need to be out of the house at, 5 o'clock or 5:30. And I know I'm going to be traveling most of the day. Chances are I'm not going to get a chance to work out when I land, or I may not even get a chance to work out today. Mm-hmm. Fuck, I only have like 20 minutes. So it's like, do I just skip the workout, right, or in that 20 minutes just bang out a freaking tough ass workout, but in 20 minutes you're done and you did something? So for him, he's like, I'll fucking jump on the rower until he's almost dead, and then he's gone. And sometimes it might be 10 minutes or whatever, but you do it. You just got to roll with it. Because
it keeps you in that mindset, right?
Yeah. And, one thing that you were saying, like for me this year, like we're already into the second week of the year and everything. We got to start the year off strong and fucking on track every day. The first week I got up, I think every day at 5 a.m, did my pull-ups, Second week, I was like, man, and there's things that have happened. Like there was one day I was fucking around with your computer and I was up till late. I woke up the next day. I was like, I do not want to wake up. But I do give myself these bare minimums. You know, the bare minimum, no matter fucking what, is I do 100 pull-ups every single day. You know, so if I wake up early, I can do those pull-ups. And then at lunch, I'll go and do a different workout. And then I'll go to jiu-jitsu in the evening or whatever. But if I don't wake up early, then at lunch, I'll still do my 100 pull-ups. Right. You know, like I still get it in somehow, one way or another. Maybe I'm skipping the other one. I'm not as disciplined. But there is a bare minimum standard that I need to maintain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've talked about this before. You know, when that cycle comes around, I know to be kind to me, right? Like I listen. It's having like that discernment of, okay, is this just an excuse to not go? Right? Like today.
Which it usually is.
Like today, right?
Right.
No, you're getting in, right? Like you're going. But if it's the day of that cycle and I don't want to, and my body's like, no, like you need to rest, I still will go to the gym and stretch and meditate and sit in the sauna.
Yeah.
Right? It's go into the gym because in order to build a habit, you have to continue doing the thing.
You have to be consistent
in order to build the habit.
Right.
And that's the challenge. That's the challenge. When you are sore as shit, and that's another thing.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
When I got back into the gym, it's like, okay, normally I kick my ass as if I never left the gym. And then I'm like dying.
Yeah.
This time around, I was kinder. I was like, okay, we're going to do, some strength training, but we'll do 3 different strength trainings. And once you feel like I have to be aware of how my body's feeling and not put on tons of weight, but just kind of ease into it. Yeah. And I still felt sore, but I felt okay. Like it wasn't painful, right? Like you haven't heard me complaining or not complaining, but mentioning the discomfort or anything.
Maybe I feel a little something here, a little there, but nothing crazy.
No. Yeah. So yesterday, Audrey and I went to an event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that like? What was the event of? It was like a breathing.
My friend, she's in real estate.
They were teaching you guys how to breathe.
She just does these networking events just for her realtor friends.
Yeah.
And so she, invited me to go, and I took my new friend Joyce. We'll talk about her a little bit later. And I decided to take Audrey. And, Audrey's the youngest one there.
Our daughter, she's 14.
Yes. And so we did some breath work. We did some yoga and sound healing and meditation. And breath work is very challenging, right? Like I have previously experienced it maybe on 3 different occasions, right? Yeah. But it is very challenging because you're not used to breathing that way, like taking those deep breaths in, deep breaths out, and then it gets faster and it gets more challenging. And mentally, because your body, like you're not used to this, your body's wanting just to stop. It's just wanting to. And when you first experience it, if you don't have someone that guides you through it, you will stop. Like someone who's just coaching you through it. Like you can do this. You got this, right? Be aware of your thoughts. Push through it. It's like when you're starting to lift, right? And you're needing that spotter behind you just to kind of pump you up to get it in. You need that kind of coach through this.
Or maybe like if you were to jump in a cold plunge and you just because like I've heard so many people talk about the benefits. I'm going to get, and then you just jump in. It's like, I gotta get out.
Yeah.
But if you're guided, you're like, all right, control your breathing. Breathe in and out. In. And then like little by little you start, but you have to be conscious of it. Like there is no jumping in a cold plunge without being conscious, right?
Yeah. I've been cold plunging now This is my second week.
Yeah, I've been looking at that pool for the second week now too.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But I love just having like Audrey there, and everybody just loves her. Like, you are such a trooper. And she is, because the previous event that I took her to, she went into a cold plunge, and there were women there who couldn't stay in for 2 minutes. And this girl was in there for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But she really, well, I mean, look who her mommy is. Like, she is. She's
like, we do these things.
We do hard things. And she's so open to like doing hard things and exploring herself.
That's awesome.
And after breath work, there's something that's released within the body. And I need to look up breath work because I haven't really looked into it.
If you guys haven't
heard of it.
Wim Hof.
Yes.
Wim Hof has his breathing method. Yeah.
I've experienced it in my body, but I don't know like how to explain it, the benefits of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have breakthroughs, like trauma, like they start crying, like just all kinds of things. And my first experience, it was for an hour, and it was at our friend Alok's event. And I was just feeling gratitude, like so full of gratitude and knowing that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And it was tears of laughter and knowing that I am on the right path, right?
Yeah.
And so yesterday it was the same thing, the same feeling, right? And there was a woman there who was a real estate agent that was having a difficult time. So we went to her and just kind of like loved on her, right? Like, you're not alone, just work through it, breathe through it. And I noticed that Audrey was like crying. And I just went over there and I held her and I just hugged. I looked at her and just like felt her heart.
Yeah.
Like, and I see just her beauty of who she is and her innocence.
Yeah.
And I started crying with her and I just held her like it was so intimate. And all I hear the women like, "Aw," right? Like it's that mother-daughter love relationship.
Yeah.
And then Joyce comes and kind of hugs. We're all three in this huddle, just hugging and transferring our love to each other. And when I pulled back, I said, "What came up for you?" And she said, "I've just had a stressful week at school."
Oh.
So she released that.
That's cool.
But everything that comes up is different. And so if you're listening to this podcast, we're having an event. I'm having an event on January 20th in North Scottsdale. So if you are wanting to experience
time is running out.
Yes. If you're wanting to experience this, seating is limited and you've never done it before, or maybe you've done it, but didn't, quite understand. We're going to break it down because there's going to be a lot of people that have not yet experienced breath work. So this is going to be their first experience. And so if you are interested, give us a call.
Get a hold of us however you on any of the social media. You can call Sonja. You can call us on the show, 480-331-9846.
You want to grab my business card right there?
You can also call Sonja's coaching line
I have
directly.
It right here. Yeah. I haven't memorized it yet.
Sonja's coaching line directly is 602-633-5658.
Yes. Say it again.
602-633-5658. And that's not the only thing that you guys are going to be doing.
Yes. So that's a 4-hour event, right? And it's local because my retreats, normally you have to drive 2 to 3 hours. But this is a local event. And you're also going to get to experience Joyce. And Joyce is from Germany. And the way we met was very divine. Very divine. I saw her on Facebook. She felt called to be here in Arizona to bring her practices here to share. And her and I have been talking back and forth on Zoom. And I felt that she was a yes. So she ended up flying in yesterday, went to the event. Absolutely a beautiful individual. And now we are co-creating this event on January 20th. And she does sound healing with her voice. Not like she has a drum, but she uses her voice. And so yesterday we got to experience that. Absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah. Like mind-blowing. Because I've never heard sound healing. Normally it's with the bowls, right? Yeah. And so I had I thought she was going to come in with bowls. And no, it's with her voice. So that's a new experience in itself, you know, but yeah. So if you're wanting to come have a new experience, there you go. Give us a call.
Get a hold of us. Message us on any of the social media for the podcast, for what?
Let me have a tissue, please.
Yeah, for any of the social media, any of the podcasts, just get a hold of us. You know, speaking about releasing, like Audrey releasing that stress that she was feeling, there was a moment earlier this week when I had got home from work and we had to go to jiu-jitsu. It was on Wednesday. And Joey was sitting at the table and he was doing some math work, and he's doing like percentages and decimals and all this stuff. And he was taught it at school, and I think he knew it, but hasn't practiced it enough to know it well. Mm-hmm. And he was just putting a lot of pressure on himself, you know, and he was getting frustrated with the work, and like he's just doing the math problem and it's just not coming out. Mm-hmm. And I could see it in his face, and you were sitting there, you could see it in his face. And I was like trying to tell him, like, dude, it's okay. It's okay. I told him in that moment, I was like, dude, I remember percentages specifically. Mm-hmm. Percentages were not easy just to understand, you know? I was like, I remember that was one of those things, like, am I fucking dumb? Like, I just don't get it. Mm-hmm. Like 3 out of like 100%, like 10%, this doesn't make any sense. And I was like, but I do remember how I did learn it was through money. Like money it starts making sense more. Like if you just apply it to money, then you can start applying it to other things, and then you'll start figuring it out. But I'm like, dude, it's you're in elementary school. It's not a big deal. You know, and that's like the opposite of what you would think parents would tell their kids. Right? Like school is like one of the most important things in life, right? And I was just like, dude, it's not a big deal. And I was telling him, like, you'll pick it up in time and whatever. But he was still frustrated until the point where he started tearing.
Yes.
And I told him, I was like, it's okay. I was like, you know what? Leave it alone. I was like, I actually don't care if you do your homework. I don't care if you get it done or not. If they fucking fail, like, I don't give a shit. Leave it alone. Go upstairs and go play with your Rubik's Cube. Go play with your Transformers for a while. I was like, maybe before we leave, you can come back to it for a little bit, give it a shot. You can take it with you to jiu-jitsu. We'll do class, and then maybe you can, you know, do some more there or whatever. But just leave it alone for now. And he went upstairs, and he was just playing with his stuff, played on his computer, just kind of got his mind off of it. And we went on doing our stuff, right? And then about 20 minutes before we had to leave, I go up there and I talk to him, and I was telling him, I'm like, look, man, this is just one of those things that it's going to take time. It's going to take practice. And I shared with him an example of when I first started working on helicopters. And there's something about looking at something that is 3D on a blueprint, on a piece of paper. It's hard to draw and see something that is 3D on a piece of paper. And when you're looking at drawings, sometimes you're like, am I looking at this from the front, or am I looking at it from underneath? Am I looking at it from the top down? Am I looking at it from the left side or the right side? Or is this the back of the hell? Like, what? Like, I don't even know what side. And I remember when I first started, I was like, I don't understand what the fuck I'm looking at. Mm-hmm. Like, I can see the parts, but what is? Mm-hmm. And then I remember somebody telling me at work, don't worry, just keep looking at it. One day it's going to make sense. Like one day it's going to click and that's it.
Yeah.
Now you know. And I remembered the day, like I don't remember specifically, but I remember that feeling, like that thought. I was like, holy shit. Like I see it now. I can see the helicopter's facing this way. This is what I'm looking at. And then from that moment on, I would always like point this out. This is the back. This is underneath, you know? And I told Joey, I was like, there will be a time when it's going to make sense and you'll be okay. I was like, but life is a lot bigger than a math worksheet, than your schoolwork.
What you just explained.
Yeah.
Is what we go through in life. Life doesn't make sense a lot of times.
And then,
we hit 40 and the wisdom starts to kick in and you're like, oh shit.
That's what that was about.
That's what that was about. Isn't that hilarious? And then you start putting the pieces together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the things that didn't make sense even at 40.
You're like, life is a lot bigger than all this bullshit that I was thinking about.
No, for sure. You start to realize what's important.
And even, you know, and I told him at the same time that I was telling him, like, life is a lot bigger than this math worksheet, than percentages. And I told him on the spot, I'm like, look, dude, this shit doesn't even really matter because once you learn how to do it, you're going to be doing it with a calculator anyway. You just got to know how to do it. It'll make sense eventually. Don't worry about it. Don't stress yourself out. There's no need to be crying over this stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And I told him, for something that he may feel that I take super serious, jiu-jitsu. I was like, jiu-jitsu is not that serious. It's not that big of a deal. Life is a lot bigger than all of these things. You know?
Right.
I was like, so now let's go back, see if you can figure something out. If it still doesn't make sense, it's okay. Just put it down. We'll go to jiu-jitsu and then maybe you can look at it after class. If not, take it to your teacher and say that I don't get it and have them explain it to you a little bit better. And I did rip on the teachers a little bit.
Yeah, you did. We were like, take this back to your teacher and tell her, you have failed me.
No.
My dad told me to tell you.
No, I told him, because he said, if I turn this in, I'm going to get a highlight.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, tell your teachers that my dad has a board in the house with all of your names on it, and he's going to give you guys highlights. You know, it's like, what the fuck? I'm fucking highlighting all the teachers' asses. You know?
Oh my God, it was hilarious. And he said, can I really tell them that?
Like, I don't give a fuck.
And it reminded me of the Kevin Hart. You know, that clip that
to go down. If you guys haven't seen it, look up the Kevin Hart teacher bit. That is hilarious.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes we just gotta, not sometimes, most of the time, gotta remember what's important. Like what's really important.
Yeah.
You know?
This morning we were in the kitchen and was it today or was it yesterday? And we were all, you know, it was you and I, and you're like, this is what's important. Like the family, like us being together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the comfort in that is the struggle of the self-discipline for me.
Right.
Because I love that. I love this. And so my time is very, to me, precious. Like I have to be in tune with me and say, okay, do I want to go to this event or do I feel that I have to go to this event? Do I want to, or is there something in me that says you have to go because people are saying you need to be there? Yeah. No, I used to, right? But now it's going within and saying, okay, like just meditating, just going within and saying, do I want to be at this event?
Yeah.
Right. Well, what is my intention behind attending?
Purpose. What is the purpose?
Yeah. Behind, and what's the purpose? Right. And yeah, if it's, goes and it turns out to be a yes, then I'm going. It's just like with hiring a new coach. It's like, do I feel deeply connected? Is this coach like a hard yes? And if it's not a hard yes, then they're not for me. Then it's a no.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not making that emotional decision.
Is it? Yeah. Is it kind of like like we've talked about a similar situation like in the past with like a credit card? Because it's like the comfort and hanging out, like staying and not doing that is putting it on the credit card. Like you want that comfort now and you want to hang out now. I mean, just like I could be like, you know, the most important thing in the world is family, my wife and my kids. I'm not going to work anymore. We're going to fucking spend time together
right.
all day, every day from now on. Right. Podcast is over. Everything is fucking done. It's just us frolicking, fucking whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like, no, you can't. And then what happens when you get old? Then you're going to be working all the fucking time because all you did was fuck around before.
Right.
So maybe it's kind of like that. But at the same time, there are things that you do have to spend your time on.
Right. Right.
And you have to make sure that you're spending it wisely.
Right.
And being the discipline part of it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's the wisdom that comes.
Yeah.
In understanding that. And I used to question, like, you know, am I a people pleaser? And continuing to focus on the reasons behind why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Right? Is it to make is it because I want this person to like me? Or is it because this is what I want to do?
Yeah.
Like being, yeah. And
next week, we're going to talk about a video that I sent you that you didn't get a chance to watch, but we're going to watch it together. And you guys check it out. It's called The Paradox of Being Nice. It's on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah. And I've always been the one to give. And I've noticed that I have to also be okay with receiving.
Yeah.
With allowing myself to receive.
I think a lot of people struggle with that. I know I've struggled with that. I think that's in the same vein as like asking for help.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And one of the things that kind of helped me with that, because I always feel like, oh no, it's okay. Like if somebody was to give me something, I'm like, no. It's just like, no, I'm good.
Right.
But you're taking that from them too.
Yes.
That's like when I saw it that way one time, because I know what that's like. You know, I want to do and do something for somebody else or give somebody, and it's a genuine, I want this for you. Mm-hmm. But then you don't allow me to, you know? And that's what I have done to people in the past, you know? So I was like, sometime, depending on what like, if somebody's like, here's a Ferrari, I'm like, all right, chill out. What am I going to have to do for this? You know? But yeah, you know, there's that balance. But yeah, you have to accept, right?
Right. And that is something that I've been blocking.
Yeah.
That has to go with the wealth as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. Yeah. Allowing somebody to help you, that's going to fucking get you to a different place. You know?
Yeah.
Or asking for the help. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have we been talking? 10 minutes?
10 minutes?
15 minutes? 20 minutes? It's over 30 already. Make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys go to our website, you'll see all the ways that you can support the show. You'll also see the ways that you can follow the show at the top. Like I said before, you guys can follow us at Opposite Pod on all the different social medias. You can also email us at oppositepod@gmail.com. And or you can search Opposites Attract Podcast everywhere. Like we said before, the best thing that you could do is just share this with somebody else. Follow our Clips channel on YouTube, Opposites Attract Podcast Clips. It looks just like the regular channel. It just has the red banner that says Clips across it. And we put all of our clips out there We've been putting them out there for a while now. So just find the one that you like the best, send it to somebody, and let them know about the podcast. Tell them to subscribe and to listen and all that stuff. And, that's what helps out the show. And another way that you can help out the show is by clicking on our Amazon link on our website. If you click on the support the show tab, it'll take you to our Amazon link. Valentine's Day.
Yep. Yes.
If you guys are buying anything through Amazon, which I know you are, go through our link. It's our affiliate link. If you guys shop through there, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help out the show, and it helps us, do some things around here for the podcast.
Yes. And if you would like to help us out in a different manner, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod. We are running low on kombucha. So feel free.
Fucking feet water. We should start a kombucha called Feet Water.
Feet water.
Dude, that would be a fucking awesome. Maybe not. But who the hell is gonna be buying feet water?
You can also subscribe to that on a monthly basis as well.
Yeah, if you guys would like to buy us some feet water, do it through buymefeetwater.com.
Don't listen to him. Buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod.
I think I can change it to buyussomefeetwater.com/oppositepod.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, for now, just go to buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod.
Yes.
So we've been talking about the book, The Power of Now. Mm-hmm. And we kind of got into it at the last minute. And Kelly was probably like, what the hell? 10 minutes left and you guys are just now getting into it.
You got to listen to the entire podcast.
Yes.
We did that on purpose.
These are our techniques to keep you guys hooked. Yep. But so now we'll get into it a little bit sooner. So actually, you know what? Before I get into this one, I want to go back to the last one because I didn't get through all of it. Okay. I was going through, I finished, I'm into the second chapter now. So let me see. Emotion rises. This is from The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And emotion rises at a place where mind and body meet. It is the body's reaction to your mind or your body's reflection of your mind in the body. So emotion rises at a place where mind and body meet. And I'm
going to have you start writing down the page numbers.
The reason that I wrote that down is just because the thoughts, there's other parts in here where it talks about like thoughts feeding emotions.
Yes.
Like if you're feeling angry, I have experience with this. If you're feeling angry and you're thinking about all this stuff, all that is doing is feeding the anger emotion that you have.
Right. And you can feel your body when you can feel the change in your body because one thought
leads to
you're not good enough.
Yep.
Look at you. Look at your business.
How could they?
Where it's going, right? Like just all of that. And you can feel the emotion. You can feel the tightness of your breath. You can feel your heart pounding. You can feel your body like red, right?
What the fuck was he thinking? How could they?
Right. And then boom, you explode.
Right. So it's harder to be present when emotional versus just thinking. Like if you're just thinking about the situation, like it's detaching from the situation.
Right.
And thinking about it like that versus thinking about it while you're in the situation and having it feed your emotions.
Right.
And
the only way you can do that is becoming aware of your thoughts. Becoming aware of you.
Yeah. And this is when it happens. Glimpses of love and joy or brief moments of deep peace are possible whenever a gap occurs in the stream of thought. For most people, such gaps happen rarely and only accidentally in moments when the mind is rendered speechless, sometimes triggered by great beauty, extreme physical exertion, or even great danger. Suddenly there is inner stillness, and within that stillness, there is subtle, intense joy. There is love. There is peace.
Breath work helps you with that. When you're working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it helps with.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you start to focus on mindfulness, on stillness, and you start learning more about you and becoming more aware of you, you start to live in a place of gratitude. It's like looking at Audrey yesterday and my body just filled with so much love for her. And seeing her, like her heart, her soul, and being filled with gratitude, being filled with love and wow. Like I said this. Joyce is like, she is a beautiful soul. And I said, and I got to give her birth. And I gave her birth. I brought her into this world. And I was able to give her birth and bring her into this world. Yeah. That gratitude of being able just to conceive and bring this beautiful girl into the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in order to see that, you have to go in. You have to step inward.
Yeah.
And you create them by that. Because she felt me when I was looking at her. I allowed her to see me. I allowed her to go within me.
Yeah.
And when you are busy, when you're caught up in the noise and you're caught up in the thoughts and you're caught up with what's happening, it turns off that sensor within.
You don't get those moments.
That's what he's talking about. Very seldom.
Right.
Very seldom.
Rarely and only accidentally in moments when the mind is rendered speechless. And those are the things that you gotta like. If it doesn't happen for you regularly, then notice that it happens during these moments. And once you notice that it happens during these moments, you can make it happen.
You know what that is?
What is that?
That is giving birth. The moment when you look at that baby, when you just gave birth and it's that, what do they call it? The mom's connection. The
bond, that fraternal bond or whatever.
Yeah. That's what that is. That's the glimpse right there. Right?
Yeah.
When you're saying I do, when you're saying I do.
When you reach the top of that mountain that was so hard to fucking climb.
Yes. Yes. Even going to the gym when you didn't want to go to the gym. Like, and you feel good. Yes.
When you're done and you look in the mirror.
Accomplished. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the glimpse.
Yeah.
And the more you tune in, the more you get those glimpses. And then when you continue to focus, you will live that every day. Yeah. But there's times where you'll become unconscious.
Yeah. It's just a practice. It's a constant practice.
Yes.
Yep. So I got here, pleasure is derived from something outside you. Joy comes from within. The very thing that will give you pleasure today will give you pain tomorrow, or it will leave you and cause you pain tomorrow. You know, this kind of goes to the stuff that I've been talking about the last couple of weeks. You know, all these things are outside. Joy is within. You don't need anything to be joyful.
No.
But if you think about pleasure is something that is done to you or something that you get, or it's everything outside.
Yes. And it's only for a moment.
It's like food.
Yes.
How many times do we want that pleasure of eating all that shit? And as soon as that fucking bite goes down your throat, it's over. And then it's like, fuck.
It's the very first kiss. Right?
Yeah.
And then you're constantly driving, like you're constantly, I wish we had that. What happened to that? What happened to that? You stopped working. Right?
Yeah.
Because we still have that. Like we still have that.
Yeah.
But it's much deeper than the very first kiss.
Yeah.
Right? or even the very first time we were intimate.
Yeah.
It's so much deeper, right? Like so much deeper.
Way deeper. Another thing, all cravings are the mind seeking salvation or fulfillment in external things and in the future as a substitute for the joy of being.
Read that again.
All cravings are the mind seeking salvation or fulfillment in external things and in the future as a substitute for the joy of being. Cravings, these cravings. Oh, I want this. I want that. You know, kind of like this just popped into my head, a red Corvette. That's like a craving that I just got. But it's like, so what? I don't, it's kind of, it reminds me at the same time of that time that I was driving to our friend Eric's place in my 2006 Toyota Avalon with the windows down, bumping the music. In that moment for me, life couldn't get any better. And the Lamborghini drove by. Life still couldn't get any better. You know?
Yes. Yes. And if you want it, you can create it. And it's not going to bring more joy. It's not going to fulfill an emptiness within. But shit, why not?
Yeah. So I think this, now I was getting into chapter 2. The greater part of human pain is unnecessary. It is self-created as long as the unobserved mind runs your life. The pain that you create now is always some form of non-acceptance. You know, and that reminded me because you know me well. Like, I'm very good at, and also I have this belief that life is random. Like I've mentioned here before, I was talking to my little brother, Alan. Shout out to Nug Nug. I was talking to him about this yesterday. And it's like, you didn't do anything to be born here out of your mom in the United States. You could have been born in Mexico. You could have been born in a mountain in Afghanistan. You could have been born
in India.
Whatever. Yeah. You had nothing to do with that. So a lot of times, especially the circumstances that we're in as we grow, were not our fault. And I really do feel that.
I like that. We are not our fault.
I really do feel that just about every person put in the same situation would have the same outcome. You put me in Elon Musk's situation and I would be Elon Musk. If I was born in his shoes, that's who I would be. If he was born in my shoes, that's who he would be. You know? So that makes it easier to accept the fucked up things that affect me today from my past. Or to understand, like, it's okay. It's okay. Just let it go. We all got our own shit that we've been through.
Yes.
And you had nothing to do with that. And maybe you did. But maybe the reason that you did was because of some of the other shit that had nothing to do with you. It's all interwoven. You know?
Right. Right. Because you didn't get to choose. Well, some believe that you do get to choose your parents. But, right? You didn't get. It was random.
Yeah. So here it says, time is an illusion. Realize the only time you have is the present moment. That is I had this thought. I had a crazy thought the other day. That time is what it is. Like in this, you can't even say in this moment because that moment's gone.
Now.
That's gone. What you just said now is gone. That's in the past. So even that's gone. And I was thinking about, like, you know, I think about a lot of the stuff that happens in the world. And right now, you know, the stuff that's going on in Russia and Ukraine and Israel and all that stuff. It's like a crazy thought is that all the bad shit that's about to happen hasn't happened yet. Like all these things that are going on in the world, what's about to take place 1 second from now hasn't happened. If we could just stop, like I know that's not possible, but it's a crazy thought. And then when you think about like the past is gone, the future's not here. Like this is it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Has living in the present moment helped you become more aware
of
you?
I got to think about that. I don't know if maybe living in the present moment. I think contemplating a lot of things has made me aware of myself. But it does have a big part to do with it.
Becoming more mindful and more aware.
Yeah. Yep. I got here. I can't fight the pain body. Trauma. Witnessing is enough. You can't fight the pain body. I put /trauma. Witnessing it is enough. This is kind of like the life is random.
Right.
You didn't pick these things.
Right.
Witness it. And I was going to say this, like, because you know how I feel about, last week I was saying how Eckhart Tolle was talking about how he makes it seem like it's a separate consciousness or person that is witnessing your thoughts.
Right.
And how I don't feel like I was like, that's just you reflecting on your thoughts. But I could see, like, not everybody thinks the way I think. And I could see how that would make sense to somebody and would help them understand that,
Right. It did with me.
Even though it may not actually be what's happening. What it actually, but I could see how
But it helps you to understand.
Right.
It's like naming your ego.
No, yeah.
Like, seriously, when I named my ego Stacy,
yeah,
I realized it was like a aha moment for me. Right?
Yeah. And when he said like witnessing it is enough, it's like people getting angry at their past circumstances instead of understanding what it is.
Mm-hmm. Right.
When you identify with your pain body, you have made an unhappy self out of your pain body. You are invested in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is what I wrote. Like when you have been angrier for longer, like when I have been angrier for longer than I should have. I've had those moments where I've been angry, and then when I'm done being angry, I was like, that was too much. But you're invested in it. That's what he mentions this in the book. Because the emotion is so strong. I already put effort into this. And if I'm not going to be fucking angry, then what was all that? It was a waste. No, I'm angry right now.
And then the continued thoughts. Well, she did this.
Yeah. You feed that emotion.
Yeah.
You continue to feed
and
that
then,
emotion.
While you're in that emotion, you see, think of a moment when we had a disagreement, maybe 5 years into our relationship or even after, because I mean, this awareness, it's funny, came pretty quick for you.
Yeah.
The shift, the transformation in you, it seemed
it's
like
been
it
like
came
in the
pretty
last
quick.
year or something like that, or
right.
a couple years.
But when it came,
I synced it. It's like looking at the blueprint.
Amazing. But there were times when, say, I got you upset. Something I did, whatever it is, right? And you were angry.
And it was almost like I wanted to be angry.
How did you see me though? Was there love being generated to me?
No.
You were seeing me with that lens.
Yeah. I was angry.
You were creating me to be that.
She just to fucking piss me off.
And the way you treated me, the way you looked at me, the way you felt about me.
I'm sorry, babe.
It's okay, baby.
Yeah.
It's done. Yeah. Look what I got now. Good work.
And this is something that I wrote down because this is, like I said, I have experience with this. You've been invested in it. If you identify yourself as angry, it would be weird to be happy. This hurt my feelings a little bit thinking about it because of Joe, because of Joey, because we've talked to him in the past about him being angry. And we projected that shit on him.
Yes.
But if that's how you identify, people see you that way. You're invested in that identity.
Yes.
How weird would it be if you just all of a sudden put a fucking smile on your face and everybody's like, what the fuck is wrong with him? He's always angry and now he's fucking happy. Is he the hell? But we have an attachment to that feeling.
That identity. That's the persona.
We don't seek happiness because we're comfortable being angry. We don't know what it's like to be happy. We're comfortable being angry because we know what that is. How am I supposed to act when I'm happy if all I know how to be is angry? You just got to realize that you can't care what people think. This is about your life and your joy.
Yeah.
We can identify with many things besides anger, like politics, like hobbies, like religion. But those things are not us.
Right.
I am not angry. I am not a Republican. I am not a Christian. I am me.
That's right. I am.
That's it. When we have feelings of fear, we are feeling something. Fearing something in our fears and our mind projection. What the fuck? I might have been, I'm not going to say that. Put myself on blast. I might have been listening to this on the way to work. The streets are empty, man. I go to work when it's like super early. But when we have a feeling of fear, we are fearing something that is in the future. It's a mind projection. You don't feel fear in the moment. You know what that reminded me of?
What's that?
Fighting. You hear so many, if anybody's into fighting, listening to this, if you ever have seen or listened to interviews, and I've heard this so many times and I felt this, where they're like, what is it like when you're walking out? Like when you hear your music, when you're training, you don't feel that way. When you're training, you're training. You're training to fucking kill or to do whatever. It is what it is. But when you're getting ready to walk out there, you're about to face the unknown.
Right.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Your mind is projecting all the shit that could happen.
Yes.
That you could get your fucking head bashed in.
Yes.
That you could get choked the fuck out.
Yes.
And then you get to your corner and you're still nervous and you're looking across and it's like, holy fuck, there's that other dude.
Yeah.
But as soon as the fucking shit starts,
yep,
everything is gone. There is no fear. There is no feeling. It's like your mind is clear. And then it's like that snap, like clear. And then it's almost like the training kicks in. Let's go to work. Another great example of this is when I used to get concussions playing football. Fucking football is crazy. Now that I'm older, I'm fucking using your head as a missile, fucking launching it at people. Now that we know all about brain trauma and all this shit is crazy. But I remember lining up on kickoffs. And that shit was fucking scary. Kickoffs are the number one play where people get hurt in football. Because when a regular football play, everybody's lined up close to each other. So when the ball snaps, everybody just slams into each other and we're all fighting or whatever. Boom, somebody gets tackled, plays over. On the kickoff, the other team is like way down there. And we're way over here. And then we kick the ball way down there. And then we start running as fast as we can until we fucking slam into somebody.
Jeez. And that momentum.
Yeah. And that's how every game starts.
Yeah.
So I used to remember, and I was always on the kickoff team. And I always remember, like, when I would step out onto that field, just the fucking butterflies, and I'd be lining up, and I'm fucking standing there, and I'm looking at those fucking guys. And at a certain point, I would have to just shift my mentality.
Yeah.
I would have to point somebody out. It was one of these things, like, I wouldn't even try to, like, do what I was supposed to do. I was just going to try to hit somebody because I needed to fucking get that. Like, I had to get that. And maybe I got knocked on my ass or whatever. But as soon as we made that first contact, I was okay.
Yeah.
But before that, I was freaking the fuck out.
I had that stepping in front of the room in Legal Shield. When I started doing the briefings, when I started doing the trainings, when the first retreat, which was my first retreat, right? Like stepping into that, the unknown. I've never done this before.
People start showing up.
Right.
What was it like?
Right. It was exciting.
Was there nerves? Was there fear?
Not until it was time for me to get up there. But when everyone was
It's like it all builds up to that moment.
Right.
And then it's gone.
Yes.
And you start.
Audrey singing that solo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We should talk to her about this to bring it into her awareness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Awesome.
It's jumping into the pool when it's 38 degrees outside.
Yeah. And then you realize that you're not really going to feel anything anyway because your whole fucking shit's going to be numb till it starts burning.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Miguel's being a little girl.
And with that.
Miguel's being a little girl.
With that, thank you guys for being with us. Thank you for your support.
Are we done?
We're done.
Okay.
Make sure you guys go to our website, Opposites Attract Podcast. Like I said before, the best thing you guys can do is share this with somebody else. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you guys for your love, and thank you for your support, and thank you for watching Opposites Attract Podcast.
Where we get better
together. Bye.